Okay, student. International Global Business Part 3. We have studied the entry mode last time, and I'll continue period to rest class licensing. Okay. We have studied the entry mode, right? Entry mode. Entry mode. Entry mode to enter overseas market. Overseas market. Okay. The progress of entering overseas market. I've told you that at the initial stage, usually we use the export, right? Export. Whether it is direct export or indirect export, okay? Direct or indirect. Okay, we use export, but we will face trade barrier. Trade barrier. Trade barrier. Okay, to avoid this barrier, because this barrier usually tariff barrier, or non-tariff barrier, whatever. This barrier will be big obstacle of trading from overseas exporting, right? Because the export has to send their product through custom line, okay, through custom line, right? Okay, while passing the custom line, tariff will be imposed, right? So, experts make a big trouble to overcome this kind of barrier. Okay, so as an alternative, I told you the expert can choose, another method, another way, another mode to deter, circumvent, and to circumvent, right? To circumvent sorry. This kind of a tariff and non-tariff barrier, right? So, okay, what is the another alternative? So you need to recall that one. Recall. Okay, our alternative was licensing and franchising. Okay, up to this, I believe you can recall your memory. Okay, recall your memory. Okay, you need to recall this memory. Okay, and we will continue regarding this licensing. Okay, licensing as alternative. Licensing is usually done. Usually done by license and licensee. I told you this one again. Okay, license and licensee. Okay, license will give his right and what? His technology will transfer here to licensee with the contract, right? With the license contract. Okay, they will transfer their transfer, right? In this trademark, okay, and know-how. Okay, this one usually done for the purpose of, exploring new market. Exploring new market. I'm sorry. Exploring new market. Explore new market, okay? Because at the strange area, licensor, even he has a higher, know-how, some kind of technology, right? Technology. Because of the barriers to explore new market, we have barriers, okay? We have a big resistance of a local market, right? Local market and government, right? Local market and governance of big register because they don't like, okay, alien company step into their market because their market will be reduced, okay? Their share of market will be shrinked, so they don't want this one. So this is the reasons why they don't they try to prevent the alien company to invade their territory. So to avoid this kind of resistance, okay, this kind of resistance, okay, to avoid this one, licensor try to make their product in the local area by contracting licensee, okay, and the licensor will transfer trademark and know-how and then get licensing fee for each product, okay. This is initial stage. Once the license sometimes are focused on exploring new market. This is one step of strategies to invade other area because in this case the license maybe can be expert, right? Expert, okay. He can avoid any resistance because actually the product they have right will be produced in local area not by licensor but by licensee. The licensee is a local firm. License is a foreign firm, right? Foreign firm. foreign form. Okay. Okay. Sometimes this is the very frequently used strategy to explore new market. Okay, new market. So this is a concept of license. Okay, license contract is licensing. Okay, so uh, also in this case, the licensing contract accompany the transfer of even ownership. Okay, the ownership even can be transferred. Okay, ownership will be transfers. Okay, and the patent. Okay, and then a patent and know-how, the trademark, uh, etc. Right, like all the right and related to this licensing business, right? Okay, most of licensing are related to commodity productions. Okay, licensing contract is for what the article productions, not service. I told you, not service. Once we talk about service and something similar to service, we don't say licensing. Instead, we say franchising. Okay, oh, that's the concept of licensing. So then, why licensing contracts are implemented then? Why licensing contracts are introduced? Why licensing? Okay, our titles. Why licensing? Okay. Okay. The motive of licensing. Okay, licensing. Uh, Licensing is exporting technology. Okay, exporting technology. Exporting technology. Okay, not commodity, not article, okay, not article. The article means goods. Okay, because exporting technology is as much as as valuable as article itself. Okay, even though they might get as a licensing fee partial ratios of whole profit, okay, sold to the foreign country, but this is also the same effect, sharing product directly from outside country to foreign country, right? So this one is to and exporting technology, not articles and goods. The reasons, okay, we are now talking about reasons. Licensing contract introduced, okay. Okay, and this is also related to product life cycle. Okay. PLC, we often call this one is a product life cycle. Okay, product life cycle is a theory that all product has its own life cycle, like a human being. Okay, product Product life cycle. Okay, product life cycle is the concept that product itself has also life cycle as a human being. So once the technology reach the end of cycle, okay, the end declined cycle, declined stage. Okay, once the certain technology reach decline stages, no more, no more profitable, okay, no more productable, no more productivity in their own country. So in this case, license will release the technology. Oh, sorry. They will release the technology. Because no more valuable, okay, no more valuable for this technology. So rather to export, okay, rather to export and makes profit, rather to export this technology. Okay, understand? Okay, licensing can be occurred at the initial stage of a PLC, okay, because a certain firm, once they try to explore new market, and once they face the barrier, okay, of a certain country, then they needed to avoid that barrier, okay, then another alternative to avoid custom barrier, whether it is a tariff barrier or whether it is non-tariff barrier, the another options is to make their product produced in local farm, okay, local farm. Then they needed to have without moving the commodity itself, without moving article from export country to alien country to foreign country, they will adopt new method like licensing. Okay, then at the initial stages of a PLC, they can explore new market. Okay, and contrary, at the end of a PLC, okay, at the end of PLC, meaning that the product life cycle reaches declined stage, right? And then no more profitable by productions of that technology, right? So in this case, the licensor select to transfer their technology rather than keep it. Okay, so in these two cases, okay, the licensing can be occurred. Okay, and the third case, licensing contract occurring is infringement. Infringement. The meaning of infringement is to invade, to invade, okay, to violate, patent right, like that. And then this kind of violate, when once the licensee has a difficult to control, okay, to control or to detect this kind of violations, okay, infringement of, license, infringement of license or patent right or whatever the right, intellectual right was once, uh, infringement, right? Then licensor decide to release their technology and officially correct, licensing fee. There might be better way. There might be better way to, prevent the other country to steal their technology. Okay, and uh, okay, uh, and then once the licensor are successful with the licensing contract with the licensee. Uh, afterward, uh, the market will be familiar to their product, and additional exporting can be, occur. Okay, so that is also one reasons why licensing contracts are, uh, completed. Okay, okay. Uh, so if I summarize that one, our mention that again. Okay, the motivations of licensing. Okay, the motivations of licensing. First, the secure additional profit by exporting technology or knowledge to overseas market, right? Okay. And second, when it is difficult for long-term productions in country due to short life cycles, okay, of technology possessed. And also, if some firms are concerned about, preventions of unauthorized shift of the technology in overseas market and infringement of, patent right. Okay, and also to add, securing a market profit to meet the, demand of overseas market and obtaining future market profit. Okay, to avoid intensify the competitions in overseas market and to overcome trade barrier. Okay, I told you earlier the trade barrier is one of the key motivations to adopt, licensing contract. Okay, because of you need your need avoiding that kind of barrier. Okay, this is several reasons why licensing contract as alternative of exporting is occur. Okay, okay. Then so if you see more additional, the motivations of licensing contract. Okay, and additional, reasons why we will adopt licensing contract is because the licensing is in the middle of entrance stage. It's intermediate. It's intermediate stage. Okay, intermediate. Okay, intermediate stage. Okay, this is intermediate stage of entrance mode between FDA, FDI, and exporting, right? Exporting, right? This is intermediate because you know FDA or M&A. M&A is one part of FDI. M&A takes much money. Okay, it takes much money. Foreign direct investment and merger and acquisition require the big financial, problem, right? So, as intermediate, we use licensing. Okay. So, the risky of licensing is higher than exporting, right? Higher than exporting, but this is less than, FDA or FDI or M&A. Understand? Yeah. So we called this one as intermediate stage. Okay, intermediate stage. Okay. So as export or as a license, agree the contract with the licensee. Okay. Actually, even for example, Korean company make licensing contract, right? Licensing contract with, for example, Chinese company. Then Chinese company will produce the product in the local market, right? By the using trademark of Korean company, right? Trademark like Samsung, LG, and name of product, whatever, right? Which representing the product, right? Then, if licensor's trademarker has a higher reputations than by contracting of licensing, productions, this licensor will expand their reputations to new area. Okay, avoiding barriers. Okay, avoiding barriers. So that was another advantageous point of a licensing contract. Okay. So and okay. See then also licensor can reduce the cost, as a cross licensing. as cross-licensing. The cross-licensing meaning that exchange license of certain patent right like that, exchange license. Okay. Exchange license. What do you mean of exchange license? Okay. To obtain a patent, right? Obtain patent, the firm needed to invest a big fund to, inventions of certain technology, right? To develop certain technology, and they make the patent for that, right? They register patent, right? They register patent. Okay, then it takes financial support for this that. So as having cross licensing, then the firm can use other companies' technology and give their technology to that company. Then they exchange their licensing. Okay, they exchange their licensing. So as exchange their licensing, they can reduce the cost for developing technology of other companies, right? So for instance, company A and company B runs similar business, right? Run similar business. Okay. As they have cross licensing contract, okay, they do not need to invest money in duplicate for the necessary technology. Okay, A and B, they can agree that to use each other's technology, okay, as a giving and taking. Okay, then they can reduce quiet amount of funding, right, for developing technology. Okay, for this purpose, the licensing is also used. Okay, there's one of the reasons why licensing is adopted between firms, right? Between firms. Okay. This is a cross licensing benefit. Okay, the cross licensing benefit is one of the reasons why licensing contract is occurred. Okay, in licensing entry, profitability is very important, right? So the profitability of licensing contract is depending on profitability. Okay. Uh, Profitability of licensing is deeply depending on the capability of licensee. Of local market, right? So to selection selecting licensee is very very important, right? Select licensee is very important, okay? Because the profitability of licensing contracts deeply depending on capability of licensee, right? Licensee, and so the selecting licensee is very important, okay? Because licensee has a capability to handle licensors product, okay, in the local market. That is very natural, concept we have to consider, right? And so the license, the progress, then we might see that how we can select licensee properly. Okay, progress of selecting licensee, right? Licensee. Okay. Okay, so for this process, we have to contact and we have to collect informations of various counterpart as a licensee, and then to detect, the applicant as a partnership to work together as a licensing, contract is we have to consider several factors, whether we can work together or not to detect that kind of things, right? Okay, first of all, we have to collect informations through, credit information agency, right? And then, okay, the method, to finding the suitable partners of licensing contract, we can check that this kind of licensee is to approach, the informations, through, through the agencies of, I told you, informations collection, agency, and sometimes the banker, the chamber of commerce, the information officer, and trade organizations, okay? Then we can collect, informations regarding companies in local area, okay? So even you have collected the informations, we can use the, this kind of informations, organizations. We can use the organizations to collect this kind of information through, through sometimes bank can detect all information because they corresponding and they know the details, they know their financial status, everything regarding, the companies in practice, right? They have lots of informations regarding company in practice in the local market. And also you can use the chamber of commerce, Chamber of Commerce are also the organizations of businessmen, right? So they have plenty of informations of the companies in local area, and also you can use, the information agency. information agency. Information agency provide informations according to the P level. Okay, according to the P level, they provide informations of a company according to classified level. Okay, meaning that they provide informations and they provide information of the requested company by the level of P, right? By the level of P. So if you want the higher and more detailed informations, you pay higher, right? Then you get, more detailed informations from these organizations. So this using information agency is also very important. Once you try to step into new area, because this agency's information is sometimes much accurate, because they provide informations as a business, right? Because they provide information as business by payment, right? By payment. Okay. So through many ways, you might collect informations of the companies you want to work together. Okay, the informations about franchisee. Okay, licensee. I'm sorry, licensee. Okay, licensee. The information of licensee. So licenses informations, once you collected the license informations, you need to evaluate their status in terms of financials and business reputations and capability, market share, etc. In many periods, you can consider and you can evaluate your partner candidates, right? So, and then once you decided companies to work together, finally you might have the opportunity to face-to-face, because the face-to-face is sometimes very important, because you might have some problem without contacting them. Just the paperwork sometimes makes you in trouble. So, but in reality, there is no case making contract without face-to-face contact, right? Most company, they sit together and reach their agreement. So anyway, this is a brief one way. We might have several ways except this one, but this is the general way, and one of the way to detect your partner as a franchisee or licensee, right? Okay, collecting information from various organization is very important. So you must make a great effort to broaden, scope of contacting point, of the company which can provide this kind of informations for your company. Okay, so this is a brief procedure how to collect informations and selecting, and how to reach it, agreement. Okay, we might have several different way except this one. This is just one typical procedure how to find your partners as a licensee. Okay, one controversial point regarding licensing. Controversial point is okay. Let me see that one controversial things regarding. We might have controversial issues regarding license. Okay, okay. Okay, controversial. Sorry, we have one mistake here. Alternate one. And controversial issues. Controversial issues. Controversial issue regarding license, right? Is that okay? We have betrayal behavior. Okay, betrayal behavior, right? Betrayal behavior. What is the meaning of betrayal behavior? The betrayal behavior is, the betray of a licensee later on once they accumulate the technology by the transfer of a licensor. Okay, you can easily imagine what this word meaning, right? Okay, betray of a licensee betray. Okay, betrays. Okay, license. Because as time goes on and over times as time goes on and over times technology transfer, licensee finally accumulate technology. Okay, accumulate technology, and finally they betray, they betrays license. Okay, and new competitor becoming new competitor later on. Okay, this is very controversial issue because a license first they have their own aim. I told you in previous that they might target at expanding or exploring new market using licensee, and they have their own, right? Their target because transferring technology is very, big risky because for this technology, astronaut cost, big amount of cost will be invested, right? Then it is quite, big. Sometimes it might be very burden of a company, right? To transfer, big fund invested technology, right? Because once company decided to transfer technology to licensee, they should retrieve as much as they invested, right? They invested for that technology, okay? For that technology. Okay, if this company, the consignor, retrieve enough, interest from their market, and the life cycle is at the stage of end, the perish stages, end stage. Okay, their risk will be little, right? But in this case, according to the PLC, product life cycle, okay, at the initial time, they retrieve license retrieve enough profit as much as they invested for developing that technology from their market. They have no risk, right? They have no risk. Later, they would like to transfer technology, okay, to collect more money to the end, okay? In this case, no problem. But if this is initial stage of PLC, once they decided to transfer technology to, franchisee, the PLC stage is not the end point. If this is initial stage, the company, the consignor, take over big risk because of investment for the technology. Okay, I believe you understand this status. So the controversial issues in this stage is that your partner licensee might behavior betrayal. Okay, so this might be very controversial. Okay, so in this case, even the technology, the core technology will be held, not transfer. Okay, will be held, not transfer. Okay, not transfer. So once you consider licensing contract, license should consider this kind of risk. Okay, this kind of risk, right? Should consider this kind of risk. Okay, so risk. the risk of licensee's betrayal. Okay, betrayal. Okay, betrayal. Okay, the risk considering is very important. Okay, because licensing contract include all technology. It includes all technology transfer. Okay, so the technology, especially big, tremendous cost invested, tremendous cost, invested, right? Oh, sorry, invested. This kind of technology, unique technology, okay? This is unique. Only this firm possess, okay? This is very unique technology. Only this firm, the license possess. Okay, license possesses, right? License possesses, okay? Then if this technology transferred to licensee, then later on, this licensee will accumulate, advanced technology. Then they will later on be, again, the competed enemy in the market. Competed. So we have to worry about this one. This is one point to consider once you try to proceed licensing contract. Okay? Licensing contract, because the unique technology should be transferred to the unique technology. We cannot avoid the transfer unique technology because the licensee should obtain, core technology, right? Core technology. For productions, for proper productions, right? For proper productions. Okay, you understand this. So, in this case, later on, licensee might betray license. This is often so-called, okay, betrayal behavior. Okay, then later on, they face-to-face as competed. Okay, face-to-face as competed later on. So the licensing contract should be very, very, deeply considered. Okay, deeply considered. Okay, this sort of entrance is easier than export. In terms of financial spending, right? In terms of financial spending, but this is, I'm sorry, this is more risky than export, but less risky than FDI. Okay? The reason why risk occurs, we can face, okay, betrayal behavior of a licensee. I told you several times the meaning of a betrayal behavior is that later on, after accumulating accumulating technology transfer from licensee independently, they can try to establish new business on the basis of licensors technology. Okay, and the core technology by licensing contract will be exposed to the market. Okay, then the technology exposed in the market will be easily imitated, right? Will be easily imitated by your competitors. Okay, so once you try to proceed, licensing contract, we have to consider both advantages and disadvantages point with this contract. Okay, so that is very natural process and reasonable suggestions to consider 2 points, and we can balance whether it is profitable or damageable. Okay, then if your prospect show that the market is more prospective, then you go licensing. Okay, then for more, we will study. And next we might check the characteristic of licensing contract, and something we have to check once you transfer technology. Then the characteristic, always something wrong when start first in new bold, right? Characteristic sorry, characteristic of a license characteristic of a licensing the characteristic of licensing is that technology transfer always carried out in different country, because of if the technology level is similar, they don't have to transfer technology, because that kind of technology already exists in the market. So the license will not have competitions, not competitive in that market, because already that market has same level technology. So most technology transfer is occurred in different environment countries. Okay, in different environment countries. So the characteristic of technology transfer licensing contract is carried out in different countries. The different country meaning that different level of technology, right? I told you different level of technology level difference. Okay, technology level gap, right? If some country has already, same level technology, then there is no benefit and no advantages accepting similar technology, because that kind of technology accepted is no more competitive, competitive in the market. Okay, so most of the contract of licensing is made between different countries, different levels, different technology levels. Okay, so and in this case, once technology transfers, not only technologies but other factors transfer together. Okay, but other factors transfer together. Okay, so other factors transfer. Other factors are transferred together. Okay, other factors are transferred together. Because of this circumstance, because of this situation, okay, so we have to consider, the local market, the social, cultural, and economic circumstance and environment. Okay, at the same time, it should be considered together. And sometimes, technology and other factors accompanying together should be modified. Modified what? Modified to suit. Modified and applied. Modified and applied. Okay, to suit local market. Okay, understand this one? Okay, because of different level of technology gap, and once the different technology, social, cultural, political, and many other factors and environmentals will be different, then should be modified, technology transfer modified or applied to suit local market. Okay, this is important. Okay, so something to consider, because the other factors are accompanying together with technology transfers, okay, then okay, so as technology transfer accompanying, accompanying other factors, we have several things to check it out because of different environment. Okay, different environment. Okay, uh, mostly technology transfer from advanced to less advanced. Sometimes reverse, but in this case, mostly I guess. And then the price, okay, the price should be adjusted. Okay, the price, for example, the same price at advanced country cannot apply to same to less advanced country, right? So the pricing should be appropriate. The appropriate. So with the transfer of technology, one of the other pact transferred together is the price, right? The price should be appropriate. Appropriate. Okay, appropriate. Okay, should be appropriate. The appropriate pricing of technology transfer. Okay. So we have a different level of GDP, and according to the level, appropriate, pricing of a transfer cost. Okay, technology transfer cost should be, applied, right? Right, that is important, right? And also different culture. I told you licensing contract occur between different countries. Okay, the meaning of difference means the different technology gap. Okay, so not only the pricing adjustment, but also, we have a different environment, whether it is cultural, whether it is social, whether it's political. Okay, so whether it is the legal background, okay, might be a difference. So we have to consider to, delete or adjust heterogeneous heterogeneous factors. Heterogeneous meaning that different heterogeneous means the difference. Okay, the difference of culture, difference of social, political, which contain all heterogeneous. The heterogeneous factors included in accompanying technology transfer by licensing contract should be adjusted to local. Okay, it should be modified or amended to suit local. Okay, that's the same. Okay. Also, once we decided to technology transfer, that technology sometimes cannot applied to local market originally because of different regulations. Okay, importing, accepting, country has their own regulations. Okay, they have their own regulations, and this kind of regulations request change of technology. Okay, technology change request. Okay, technology change. Okay, so you should prefer the problem arising during technology change. Okay, so the problem arising from technology change, right? Technology change, right? So this one is one thing we have to consider. Okay, and then difference in infrastructures. Okay, social, the overhead capital between countries also should be considered. So also one of factors we should be considered. Okay, because we have even you transfer which is suitable in your area, but once this technology originally applied to different country, they have different level of infrastructure. Okay, so the technology cannot implement its maximum capacity, right? So in this case, we have to consider the differences, social capital, meaning that the infrastructure, right, like that, between countries. Okay, okay. So also, you might have the conflict between conflict. I'm sorry, conflict. Okay, between license and licensee. Okay, they might have the conflict between license and licensee, right? This is a court because they can argue how the limit and level of service and responsibility of each parties. Okay, then also we have to consider the conflict which can be occur in near future. So we have to prepare this kind of a problem too. Okay, okay. All of these just now we consider is the factors we have to prepare and check it out. Because this can be happen possibly once technology transfer from other to another. Okay, so this is one thing, and this is issue, which can be happen while technology transfer. Okay, so I strongly believe that up to now you assume that what the meaning of licensing, right? The licensing is what? Okay, so then next time I will continue the the reasons, okay, the factors of profit increase and factors profit decrease. Okay, so this time I will dismiss class. Okay, and thank you very much for watching.